Hey VC, it's Chad. This video is going to be my best finds of 2017. I actually recently, as last weekend, I spent reorganizing my entire collection, and I used to have a crate of like new stuff that needed filed or whatever, so it had most of my 2017 releases or things in there, and I filed everything. So basically I forgot a lot of stuff that I bought, so I just only have a few things here. It's an original pressing of the first Kraftwerk record. This is an original German pressing on Philips, and it's a really nice, super clean gatefold copy. The vinyl's super nice. I got a really great deal on it, and I love Kraftwerk. I'm actually listening to this, but not this copy. I'm listening to this Vertigo pressing, which is actually the first two Kraftwerk records on two separate LPs, and these have spaceship labels. But so this is Ruckzuck, and it's what I call a definite flute banger. Really crazy flute parts and everything. But this is the most krautrock, I guess, inaccessible Kraftwerk if you're familiar with Computer World and all the later stuff. This is kind of a far departure from that, but I'm really into the first few records, so this is where they came from. This is a really amazing record. I'm super happy to have this in my collection. So Kraftwerk. So I haven't really been listening to jazz for very long, just a few years. I've had some Coltrane records in my collection since college, but I wouldn't consider myself a huge, jazz head or anything. But within the last 3 or 4 months, I've been picking up some jazz records, some more Coltrane and kind of Miles Davis and some of the safer stuff. And a few weeks ago, there was a sale at Half Price Books, and I went in a few different days, and on the last day of the sale, I saw this record there, and I just knew I had to pick it up. And this is one of my favorite jazz and whatever finds of last year, and it's John Coltrane's Blue Train, and this is on Blue Note. This is actually a 1959 mono pressing. It has the blue micro groove labels. It does have the R on the Blue Note, and the address is 63rd. If you're into Blue Note or whatever, you'll know that, it wasn't the very first press, but it's a super early press. The jacket is super clean. The only thing that I could see is like a music stamp on the back, maybe where they bought it or something. And everything else looks pretty clean for 1959. The side one labels are pretty faded, but the back side is good. The vinyl's, like a VG or something. So this is a really expensive record, but I got it, a little bit for on the probably half as much as the low end of the Discogs pricing for this. So I was super happy to pick it up. I actually watched the Coltrane documentary a couple months ago, Chasing Train, I think it's called, and this is the Blue Train is featured on there, I believe, as the loop on the when you're watching Netflix, like the previews or something. So Blue Train, awesome stuff. So this is my Christmas present to myself. You'll see this band a lot on the VC. I think Andrew at Tales from the Crate might have showed this record. Last record store day, they did a re-release of their first record, Anywhere. So this is the original Japanese pressing of Flower Traveling Band's Satori, and I shouldn't say original, it is an original on Atlantic, but this is a third pressing with the 1500N price tag, has the obi strip, has the insert. The vinyl looks like it was never played before, which is pretty awesome. The only issue is there's some foxing, like yellowing on the sleeve here, but it's really crisp. You know, I'm willing to overlook that. A lot of Japanese, I have a good bit of Japanese records, and that seems to happen a lot. I don't know if it's the paper or the air, but I don't exactly know why it happens. But this is probably one of the best rock records ever made. So Flower Traveling Band, Japanese psych. If you're not familiar, check them out. Especially, this is one of their most talked about records. But you know, any of their records are really awesome. So Flower Traveling Band, Satori. And my last find, I had just had to dig through my records again to find it, and it's kind of a gimmick record. And I'll tell you about it in a second, but this is the, I'll just show it and then I'll talk about it. It is the anthology Movie Themes 1974 to 1998 record from John Carpenter, and this is on Sacred Bones, and this is the super limited, I don't know, there's how many there are, 60 something, or they didn't hand number them, which was kind of strange, but this is a liquid filled record, and there is a screen print on it of Michael Myers in the sheet ghost costume as in Halloween 1. I have this record as a singular LP that they released. This is John Carpenter redoing a lot of his movie themes with his son and his nephew and a backing band, and sort of modernizing what he did. It's not a departure from the original, you know, synth-based recordings, but it's definitely more full, like a more lush sound. Still has that eerie Carpenter feeling. So this one has In the Mouth of Madness, Assault on Precinct 13, The Fog, Prince of Darkness, Escape from New York, Christine, Halloween, Pork Chop Express from Big Trouble in Little China, The Thing, which is actually a cover of you know, the Morricone theme from the movie, Dark Star, Starman, and They Live. This is a really great record. If you can just buy the regular version. I actually seen John Carpenter 2 summers ago a few times. He played here, and I saw him in New York City, and it was an amazing experience. I got to meet him and got some records signed. I'll show those sometime. And really great live performance. He does some video video projections behind him with the band and stuff. So really cool stuff. So anyways, this is a vinyl filled record, and it's not though. I have another one for another band. I don't I actually, this will probably be the last one I buy. I don't recommend buying these. These are super gimmicky. They eventually end up leaking, and so when I went to go find this, when I took it out of the plastic, there was some liquid in the bag that I have it in. I keep it, separate. One of them I have in a Ziploc bag. This I just have in a plastic inner sleeve. So somewhere I'm going to have to trace down the leak. So basically how these are made is they press the A side and B side on two separate vinyl LPs, and the back side is a blank stamper, and then he epoxies them together and then pretty much injects liquid on the inside. You can see a hole here. So what I'm finding is that on the inside, and it's not just me, but a lot of people get records that eventually leak or were leaking in the mail. When I got this, like I said, I'm in Pennsylvania, so the weather was really low, like in the teens. So the liquid was actually frozen because this was left outside all day. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I'm glad I checked it out. So I'm gonna have to track down see if I can track down where it's leaking from and kind of repair it. So it is really cool. It's a super gimmick. I know a lot of vinyl fans out there aren't into this kind of stuff. I love John Carpenter. I like weird vinyl records, but this one, like I said, will probably be the last liquid gimmick record I buy, because they end up just leaking anyway. So it looks really cool, but again, like I said, is it really worth it? So anyways, John Carpenter's Anthology. This is one of my favorite records from last year. The liquid filled and the regular release I got as well is really awesome. So those are all the records I have for 2017. Thanks for watching. Bye.